Hello, this is Carol Smith-Rea from Midlife Mastery. Today I want to talk to you about healing steps to recover from the emotionally distant parent. What is emotional distance? Emotional distance is when deliberately love is withheld from you. Love in all its forms, affection, just cuddling, and you're an old baby, you're a young child, and you can't do anything about it. As a child, as a baby, you're deserving of love. You thrive on love. Love is a requirement for your growth. So when a parent or someone who is your caretaker refuses to give you that, that's nothing less than child abuse. So, as I was saying, the human developmental stages come in the form of infancy, the toddler age, preschool age, school age, and adolescence. I'm sorry, adolescence. Now, some of the symptoms of this emotional distance, there are different types for each stage. In this video, I'm going to talk to you about the infancy stage first. Now, this is going to blow your mind because what you were not given as an infant is impacting your life as an adult, and especially in relationships with other grown-ups or even your own child. For example, trust, fears of abandonment, failure to recognize basic bodily signals, fixation on oral sex, neglectful of your basic body needs. For example, and this is going to kick you in the head, your diet, deliberately not feeding or nourishing your own body with what it needs, but eating plenty of everything else and drinking too. Feelings of discomfort in group settings. You know how you feel when you walk in a room and you just don't like being in crowds? A feeling of not fitting in, a feeling of wanting to be invisible in a group setting. All these come from the emotional distance that was experienced by you as an infant, along with an extreme need to be valued, overly helpful, being very naive and gullible. And the flip side of that comes out to being a sarcastic type of person or someone who isolates themselves, someone who just refuses to put themselves into group settings. The only group setting they may be in would be a meeting at work, if they even work. So all of these things express in adulthood, and it holds you back. It sets up limitations. It makes you miss opportunities. And when opportunities are missed, your money is missed also. Now, healing from the emotional distancing in infancy stage, there are, I've listed 3 exercises that you can use. One I use for myself is the photo of myself as an infant. So you can do the same thing. It is a very powerful exercise, and you will feel the results immediately. And the results are going to be shocking to you. Find a picture of yourself, make a copy of it, and carry it around with you as if you were carrying around your baby. Now, keep this private and don't let other people see you doing this, or you might end up being a laughing stock, and that's counter to this healing exercise. Talk sweet nothings to it. If you're the itchy coo type that like to coo with the little babies, then you coo with the little baby in that picture. That little baby is you. And you are parenting that little one because it missed its own parenting. And this happens more often than is talked about in society or even in psychological circles. This usually comes from parents who themselves have emotional dysfunction. It's said that the average American has a mind's emotional mentality of a 14-year-old. I'll take it less than that. I'll take it to a lower level, maybe 10, maybe. But when you find yourselves in situations, you see it when you work in psychology clinics, women who've been raped but didn't believe in abortions and were determined to have the baby, refused to give it up for adoption and keep it, and then mistreat it for the rest of its life. That's where a lot of that emotional distance comes from. or just women who were forced into pregnancies and they did not want to be pregnant, but they were stuck and they couldn't get out of it. This usually comes from family pressures or marital pressures. Stuck with children they didn't want because they were trying to leave a marriage and were forcefully impregnated. This happens a lot, even in the 21st century. It's unbelievable. But they don't want those children either, and they resent those children's existence. So they also withhold any love they have from them. And let's be real. Some people just cannot love. They just cannot love. That's something else you don't hear too much about. Women who cannot love, men who cannot love or refuse to love because they were not loved. But anyway, another exercise in healing this, I call it the mirror. Look into the mirror. And as you're looking into your mirror, talk to yourself. Tell yourself what you need to hear. What did you as an infant need to hear? If you can remember as far back as when you as small when you first felt that you were unloved or didn't receive the love that you expected, start there at that point. It may not have been infancy, it could have been later on, but start at that point. Remember the scenario. What was it that you needed to hear at that time that you needed to make you whole? What did you need to hear? Was it you had no part in this, or you're not responsible for that, or you didn't cause your mama to cry, or it's not your fault that daddy left, or mommy left, or they died. It's not your fault. Tell yourself these things as they pertain to you in the mirror. And you do this every morning, and then you do it again in the evening. And don't forget to tell yourself also that you will give yourself whatever you need to be whole again and to feel loved again. The third technique is similar to the first. I call it the baby doll. After a while, I used to buy Ashton Drake dolls. And then I realized I was buying different parts that resembled myself. I loved these little baby dolls. I picked the baby dolls up and carried them around, and we visited people just as though I was carrying a child around. Well, that child I was carrying around was just a version of myself that needed to be loved. And after I learned that, I put the baby dolls down. While you're doing any one of the three exercises, there's also an affirmation that you can use to help with the healing. Now, you can make up your own, you can put it in the form of a poem. This is what I've created for the infancy stage. And when you pronounce this, when you recite this, you do it in a very soft, gentle, and loving kind of voice that you would use with a brand new baby. And it starts like this. I am your champion. I am your guide. I'm the grown up part of you, here to teach you to love again and to take you away after the hurt. We do get through this. I am your angel. I am with you forever. I can keep you safe now. I can keep you happy and give you all you need. I am your champion, and I will always, always love you. Or, like I said, you can make up your own affirmations. Whatever it is you feel you need to say for your infant self, say it gently, calmly, and sweetly. Now, you can also say it in the form of a poem, in the form of lyrics. If you can add some rhythm to it as a form of song, you just get up in that mirror and you sing your little song to yourself. For some reason, this little light of mine, I'm going to let it shine. I didn't write that, someone else did, but that helped me tremendously. And it triggered a streak of energy that just flowed through me it felt like love was all around me and running all through me. That helped me to heal. And it can also help you to heal, or whatever it is that you want to write to yourself. Use that. That way, not only are you healing yourself emotionally, you are working with yourself physically too. And that might cut out some of these nondescript illnesses that you've been paying up the wazoo for in prescriptions to treat the symptoms. It's worth a shot. Okay, that's it for the infancy stage. The next stage, in the next video, I will deal with the toddler stage. And in that stage, we're going to be working with self doubts, the inability to make a decision, the gossiping, the fixation on anal sex, and on urination and defecation jokes. All that comes out of the toddler stage. Okay? So, for today, this is Carol Smith-Rea coming from you from the Midlife Mastery Series and wishing you much love.